Good afternoon. I hope we are all well. I'm just doing my checks, make sure we are live. It's saying I'm live. No, last time I went live, it didn't freeze. Whether it will today, I don't know. But I will say that if it does, do carry on because it does sort itself out. It's Facebook. I've tried everything my end that I can try. It makes no difference. So, but yeah, it's looking like we're okay. So, I do hope everyone is well. I hope you've been keeping hydrated in this gorgeous weather. I've got a spot on my glasses. My eye was just like zoning in on the spot. That's there. Yeah, hope you've been keeping yourself hydrated in this gorgeous weather that we've been having. I have to admit, I've found it a bit too much. Today is gorgeous. Yesterday was okay, actually. But yeah, the bank holiday was just way too hot for me. We got things we wanted to go to. We've been invited out in the car to a couple of things. But unfortunately, we didn't make it because I just didn't fancy going and sitting in the car with no aircon in this heat. But yeah, it's lovely now. The garden's loving it. We had a lovely thunderstorm last night. Yeah, it was amazing. I watched a little bit of it. I was lying in bed and I thought, I keep seeing a flash, I'm sure I do. So I got up and had a look, and yeah, brought all the cushions in from outside because we'd left them out. But yeah, so it's been gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Right, a couple of things I just want to remind you about. My madness on my website of 50% off my retired products. That ends the 31st, so check that out. Also, the joining offer. There's a few days left of that, where you pay £99 for your starter kit. You choose £130 worth of product, and then on top of that, you get the complete set of the 5 new ink colours. That's 2026 2028 ink colours. Those are the new magnetic ink pads. So that's a fabulous value. I think that off the top of my head, I can't remember if they're £54 or £63, but you know, it's brilliant value. But also, if you've already got the ink pads or they're not your thing, you don't like the colours, you can choose to have an extra £35 worth of product of your choice instead. So there's something for everybody there. So first of all, I'm just going to run through my Onstage Cologne album. I know a few of you had asked to see it, so I thought I would run through this with you. If you're watching on the replay and this isn't your thing, do fast forward to the crafting. So let's change cameras. So there is still a couple of little things I want to do to this. It's just, I'm not sure, I wasn't sure when I was doing it, but I have an idea now. So on my spine, I've gone for Onstage 2026 Cologne. These are die cut from the mini alphabet. And actually they're all just ones I'd got pretty good die cut from other things. Every time I've done it in a colour for something that I've needed, I've done a whole pass of the die, because the die is in one complete die. So I've done them all every time I've needed something, if I haven't already got it. And I now have a lovely little box full of lots of letters. So I went through there and found in the colours that go to make my I've got a bit of glue there. spine title. And I did do them a little bit too far away, which is why I put the 2026 in the middle, and that's just stamped. And I used the stamps that came with the virtual album kit for that. So on the front, I'm sorry if you hear noise from outside. It's way too hot to have my door shut. The fan's noisy, so I didn't want to put that on. But neighbours are gardening, so I'm sorry if you can hear that. So on the front is a photo that was the main theme. It went around the colours, the papers, actually a lot from this set. So I took a photo of that, and I thought that's nice from my front. And then I've just decorated it with some stamped and die cut images, some of the accents, and these are some of the stickers from the scrapbooking workshop kit. So I'll use those, and then we open it up and we have a pocket, and just got that's at a beginning of our journey. And yes, Starbucks with pastries has to be done. And then this pulls out. Now, there are a lot of blank spaces in here, but you will notice I've done no journaling yet. So I am going to be using these for journaling. That was the cathedral. And then that's how we took a boat trip, which was fabulous along the Rhine. It went from being absolute glorious sun to very cloudy overcast. It was odd. And then I've just decorated one of those with stickers and then left that one blank. We all went for a Chinese meal. It's mainly Emma's team, but others of us were invited along. And I've got a bit of glue there as well. There we go. Then this is where I want to do a bit more. And I watched a friend of mine, Carl Jury, the other day. She was doing an album and she did some lovely tags, which I thought, you know what, some nice little tags in there. Whether I put extra photos on or some journaling on them, I thought that'd be nice. On the walk back, we saw one of the signs, so obviously we had to get a picture there. And a couple more of the signs from when we went in. So this opens out. Those were a couple of gifts that I was given very kindly by Emma and Rebecca. And that was part of the gift that Emma gave us, the sticker, so I thought I'd stick that in here. And that's me and Vic. And me and Kat in the bar in the hotel, which was very nice. So yeah, and then we've got the same this side. Oh, just waiting to go in. It's Becky and Katie. And then I just decorated with a few of the stickers. There we are again, just sitting around waiting to go in. That's what level I was at on stage. And that's Katie and Melva and Jay. And oh, why have I forgotten? That's terrible of me. I'm terrible with names. It will come to me. And then this page has a flip out, and these were some of we had silent disco with treats. And then I put a flip flap in here because I wanted the extra pictures. And then that pulls out of here. Oops. I've got extra photos on there. There's lots of photo space in here. Pop that back. Oop, why is that? Oh, I'll push that in too far. And then the same on this side. Lots of photos on there. And this is mainly an album of people. But for me, that's what I love. And then just photos throughout the day, different bits we did, some crafting and getting the catalogue and of different tables I sat at with different people, lots and lots of people, and a couple of the stickers to decorate. And then this page pulls, oh, we've got this page here with the same, with the stickers, little corner bits. That's our DDM. Oh, they're not DDMs anymore, are they? I can't remember what they're called. But that's Hells. And then that's Emma's team and guests. Now, for those that you don't know, I have changed teams. Louise has taken a step back because family life and her day job has taken over. So she's just taken a little step back for a while. She says she most probably will rejoin again in the future, but I've changed and I'm now part of Emma's team. So that's all of those who went. And then we've got the pull out game with just some little stickers to decorate. And then I did a flip flap here with a piece of the napkin. It is a clean napkin. Because we all went for a meal on the last night to a German restaurant, and then that's bugging me. I need to sort that. And this up here being plain bugs me. And then sitting waiting for the train on the way home, and we've all got our catalogues. And then a picture of all the goodies that I received while on stage. So there is my album for Cologne 2026 on stage. So yeah, really pleased with how it's turned out. This suite's lovely for albums and scrapbooking, as well as the cards and stuff. So let's get on with crafting. As always, have a drink of water. I'll say as always, what we've done for the past 4 weeks is start with a card sketch. So we've got this one this week. And I've been having a bit of a think of what we could do to bring in a little bit of technique. I am thinking of paper, the DSP for the strip, but the circle, I'm thinking maybe we could emboss on that circle to give it a little bit of extra depth and texture. And maybe do a little bit of blending. It's got some flicking on, so let's start. Now this does go straight on to a card base, but I am going to use a layer, and I am going to use, if I can find one, there we go, basic white layer. I've got that over there. And then I thought the DSP on there, maybe we could go black and white on it. Oh, actually, quite like the daffodil delight. Trying to see if there's anything I haven't used. If there's 2 of anything, it means I haven't used it. But no, there isn't. So I've used some of everything. I do like the blue. Stripes always looks nice. That one. That'd look quite nice, wouldn't it? It's got lots of colours, so we could bring any of the colours in for that one. So we'll have that. So let's cut our piece, and the piece they're advising us is 5 centimetres by 14.8. Well, I will go with the 5 centimetres wide, but I'm going to make it as tall as my base layer, and this is 10 centimeters by 14.4. Right, I want to use the cut edges rather than the edges because the pattern doesn't carry on. So I'm just going to trim that down to be nice and neat because I've cut bits out of it and it's not neat. Right, so that's just going to be right, I think. Is that a bit longer that way? Yeah, so I'll do it this way. So I want 5 centimeters in width by 14.9. I've still ended up with a big gap there, never mind. By 14.4. There we go, and keep those bits. I'm going to trim that down because I'm not liking that. That's a good thing about the sketches, you don't have to do it exact. Go for yourself. So I'm going 14.5. That's better. Yeah, there we go. And then we want a circle, and I think I'm going to go for a Lost Lagoon circle. Oh no, Flirty Flamingo. No, I'm toying. Right, actually, let's bring it. I don't want anything too dark. Lost Lagoon looks quite nice, doesn't it? They are my go-to. Should use like a yellow or something else, but I am going to go Lost Lagoon. So I want Lost Lagoon circle. Let's find a piece that will be, oh, that might be big enough. And we'll grab, if we just grab the basic shapes, stylish shapes, I think we've got, that perhaps look nice, wouldn't it? Got those in the right, these are the Spotlight on Nature. I think that one. Quite like the edge on that with the rays. It doesn't matter if it's not a complete, it'll fit on there. I'm just wondering if that's a bit small. I don't think so. Let's try it. How do I cut this? Because it's half term, isn't it, this week? I forget. Because Hayden's broke up from uni till September. Anyway, so I forget that now the schools are off on half term. At least they've had a lovely week for it, for a change. I know when Hayden was younger, a lot of times it seemed to feel like it rained. Not the best. Right. Get rid of that. Not on now. We've got our circle there. Nice. Yeah, I like that. And then I think I'm going to do a bit of blending. I was going to emboss this panel, but I'm not going to now that we've got that on there. It's a bit of detail anyway. So I want some blending. Let's grab a brush. That one I think will do. And then I just want to mark where I'm going to have this. And I'll come right there. I'm just going to use a pencil and just put a little mark just to give me a guide. And I think I'm going to pull out Full Party. Just grab my glass hat. Realised I haven't got my lamp on, have I? So it's quite dark. You will get a glare, I'm afraid, with this for a while. But at least you can see better. I'll put that there. It's not quite so much glare. Okay, so pool party. I'll just dab it off. And what I'm going to do, start here, that'll be covered, and radiate out from it. Just so that it adds a little bit of colour around there. You can just build it up. It's looking a bit patchy at the moment, which I'm not particularly liking. Carry on. We can see what it looks like with our bits on. No, I'm not liking that. So I'll turn over. And that's a good thing. The B side, I'm going to do the same again. Just mark it. Why it was so heavy. This better. No, we've hardly got any ink on at all. Just doing circles, and it is, you might not be able to see a lot on camera, but it is putting something there. Probably would have been better using a larger brush, but never mind, it's okay now. There we go, and it does just give a little bit there. Excellent. Right, I'm going to do a bit of flicking, splattering, whatever you want to call it. And I'm going to go with Pool Party. And I am going to use my right markers because I've got it. If you haven't got the right markers, because we no longer sell them, you can use a blend, or you can use some ink on a brush. Over. Oh, that looks not a light. It's quite heavy, but little. Don't know if you can see that on there. All right, and then we'll do some on our paper. There we go. Just to tie that in. All right. I'm going to get rid of my glass mat so that we get rid of the glare. All right. Somewhere on here, I have a rubber. I'm just carefully going to rub out those little marks that I did. That one. That. So it's gone. In the bin. I think my table needs cleaning. It did look clean when I started. Right. I'm going to glue this down, just top and bottom. Oh, it's gone quite warm in here now. It wasn't too bad. I'm going to that side. I'm going to leave the side open so that I can slip my circle in. Cat hairs. There we go. That is a little bit longer, so I can trim that off. I obviously cut my layer a little bit shorter when I did that. For those of you that have asked about the paper snips, because we stopped carrying them, Stampin' Up has now found a new supplier and they will be coming July. So yeah, those of you that asked about those, I'm going to glue that on there. Just gluing it flat. There we go. Let's bring that back down so you can see where we're heading. And then I thought, to be really simple, we've got the floral flight accents. I thought we could use one of these or two of these or a few of these, maybe, as the floral piece they've used on that. I mean, you don't have to put a floral piece if you don't want to, but I just thought, you know what, I've got those, that'd look quite good as the piece. So we've got that one, just a simple leaf, or there is this one. Take that piece out. I like that one a little bit larger. Yes, let's go for that one. I need to get myself a little basket or something when I've got lots of little bits like this, a little tub that I can put them in. So that I don't lose any. Right, that'll be okay there. Oop, that's a bit of rubbish. Right, so I'm just going to leave that there, and then we'll have a look for a sentiment. Now, the only sentiments in this suite are with the additional stamp set. This is a beautiful life one day. Love it on a heart. Top 5. Good times and cherish this. But they're not exactly what I want. So we will bring in a different stamp set. And I have somewhere in here sending salutations. Quite like that. Let's see what's about the right size for across there. This is one of the ones I received on stage. That's too big. I truly appreciate all you do. Here's to a new chapter. Congratulations on your achievement. Quite like something quite open. I don't know what I'd do without you. That no. Congratulations on your achievement might be. It's just a nice, simple, it could be anything, couldn't it? Yeah, we'll go with that one. And I'm going to do it on white. Oh, and Cat's just put a tail in the water. She's still with us. She's still fighting on. Better piece than that. That's a bit thinner. Use that one. She started eating a little bit again now, which is nice. think that's thick cardstock. I don't know why that's in there. Die cutting. Do you have little scraps and you think that one will be better for that? When they're more square, that's better. Stamping card. Shall we do it in a colour or black? I like the statement of that being black. So we could go Lost Lagoon, couldn't we? Let's see how that works. I think that's dark enough. I think it might get lost up here. So let's go Pretty Peacock, because Pretty Peacock in the paper, and that ties in with Lost Lagoon as well. And let's see if that's better. Yes. Excuse me. Now my Pretty Peacock is an older Pretty Peacock, and it's gone near enough rock solid. Now, I know if I'd have got in touch with Stampin' Up, they'd exchange it, not an issue. But to be honest, it works still. So I'm kind of inclined to leave it. If it didn't work properly and it didn't give me a good coverage and whatever, then I would definitely be getting in touch with them. But the fact that it's absolutely fine and works, I'm good with it. Right, let me move that out of the way. I'm getting in a mess. Loads of stuff everywhere. Like that, and I think it needs to be fussy cut rather than just a strip across. So let's do this. There's lots of people that don't like fussy cutting. I'm okay with it. I've probably said this to you before. I find it a lot easier now I've been told some tips. The best one is obviously a sharp pair of scissors and the right size pair of scissors. I have other scissors that are sharp, but they're larger and that doesn't work. And I have other scissors that are smaller and that doesn't work. Well, they do work, but not as well. They don't work for me and fussy cutting. I'm gonna just go up there because that's getting in my way. Yeah, don't work for me fussy cutting. I find these are the perfect size for one for me. And then the other one is using the full length of this blade to cut and also moving the blade, the paper and not my scissors. You will notice that hand more or less stays still. And I turn the paper and that to cut, and it has made it a lot easier and a lot more effective for me. Right, I can have that on there. I like that. This has got some twine on. I'm not putting twine on. I think the twine will be too heavy for me, but I am going to put some gems on. So that way. Which way do we have it? That way, so it falls over there. Oh, that way. I like it that way. All right, let's pop this on. So yeah, I found that's really helped me. And it makes it easier. And I don't mind fussy cutting now. I mean, I went to Emma's retreat at the weekend, and there was dies for these flowers that we'd stamped. And we fussy cut them. And the leaves. We needed multiples of leaves, but sat fussy cutting them rather than getting up to use the dye machine. And I didn't mind. And we were sitting and chatting as well. Yeah, we had a lovely time. Made lots of projects. I finished them at home. I can't share the actual projects. Emma likes to keep those exclusive for her retreat people. Which, yeah, why not? You know, those are the people that have paid for it. So keep the designs exclusive for that. But I may in the future redo some of them and case some of them my own way. And then we can share those. But Emma's not alone in the fact that she doesn't, not that she doesn't allow, she asks you not to share. There are lots of demonstrators that do that. All right. Just keeps their retreats and that a little bit more special. I'm going to add this there. Like it. And then we'll find some gems. Well, we've got the ones that come with this, haven't we? Now I know we've got the other colours in here, but I am wondering whether to keep it on the blue greens, so that it could be used for a male or somebody more masculine. And I think that would be the way to go. We'll have one of those there. I think I'm going to use all one there and a little one up there. There we go. And then we can pop it on a card base. I might go pool party for a card base. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, it keeps it nice and light and fresh, but not white. Need to use more coloured card bases. I know I keep saying that and then I keep reverting back to white. I am making conscious effort. Glue that onto our card base, and then we've just got our inside to do, and that's our card made. Right, I'll grab a layer, and I am going to do a strip of DSP. I've got so much stuff out already that I'm like, I'm going to do it down so that it follows with that. And I'm just going to cut a strip at 1 centimetre and 40. Oh, I can just chop it off the end rather than cutting it and then it not be the right length. Okay, so I've cut these slightly off. And thin strip. Put that on there with a nice little gap. Yeah. Dog's going to start crying now because Hayden's got up. Gone straight in the bathroom. She's right funny animal. She likes you to say hello to her first. There we go. Fab. Liking that. Right, so we can pop that away. We've done that. I'll have a drink and then we'll do another quick card. Hi, Hayden. Right, our second card, I think it'd be nice to do some paper strips using some of the scraps bits that I've already cut. I haven't done a card like this for a long time. So let's grab a mat to start. That's 10 by 14.4. Let me pop those stamps out the way. Up there. Right, so we've got both sides of that one. I'm going to do I do length, diagonal? Or, in fact, if we could do a landscape card and do vertical stripes. Yeah. Is that bit big enough? Oh, it is. Lovely. That's the thing. You can use up all your scraps that you've got or bits that you've cut and got left over. Is that big enough? Oh, yes. We are doing well with little bits here. That one, that is another piece of that. On that. And we've got that piece as well. That piece is better to use first. You can use the back of that one. Oh, some of that. So what haven't we got? We haven't got any of that. We will need some more blue polka dot. We've got the honeycomb, we've got the stripe, we've got that, and we've got that. Right. Let's cut a load of stripes. Or strips, whatever you want to call them. I think if we do 1 centimetre strips, is that going to be big enough? Or is that? I'll do 1.5. Might look better, which is like 1/2 inch, near enough. Yeah, then that'll look better. I'll have a couple of those. And then I don't know if we've got enough on this bit for a couple of those. Right, this one for a couple of those, and then that's both that size of that one. Got 2 of those, 2 of those. I mean, we probably won't use them all, but That's okay. I can use them for something else. Couple of these. Trying to make sure I've got enough space to pop them out so I can see what I have and haven't got. Stripe spots. Couple of those. And this one. One of those. And we've got this. Just do one of that because I haven't got any of this. That, and then I want this pinky, and we'll see how we go with that. Okay, here we go. We can start gluing these down. So what I'm going to do is just add some glue on a bit of it, and I'm going to start with more like a solid colour on the end. And excuse my head, but I do want to get it lined up so that we get them all level. There we go. I'll have a black and white. Okay, for multicolored strip. A bit more blue. I'll have more of a solid colour. And it's just mixing them up, whichever way you want to mix them. I don't want colour black and white, colour black and white. So yeah, I'm doing a bit of this, bit of that. Yeah, we will have that one next. Oops. And then another colour. I'll go blue. Add a black and white next. Move that down slightly. Thank you. Heavy or thin? I'll go thin on this one. Right, so then I've got that one. See, I don't want that because it's another blue. I haven't used this one, have I? So we'll use that next. And then this. And then because this is 0.4, we've got an overhang. So I will trim that off. But there we have a card base. Right, I'm going to bring in my little guillotine. Some of you may have these, you may have a little guillotine of other make. Unfortunately, we don't carry these anymore. I do wish they would bring them back. But no, we can't carry absolutely everything. There's only so many things we can sell. Right, chop off those little bits and then we'll chop off that end. There we go. How fun is that? I love that. Makes really good fun background. And then we can just add some bits on. Make sure all my paper's together. And that's my sentiment stamp set. So what have we got in here we can use? I'm going to have all of these, I think. I'll cut a piece of note paper. Maybe that might just block too much of it. I'll try it. Maybe we'll go with, how about lemon lolly? Something a bit different to what I usually go for. Where's my lemon lolly? There we go. Just got a little piece of that will be perfect. Cut that off. Let's die cut this. Now I will be here this evening. I shall be making the extra tags for my album and also doing a scrapbook page. Can go in the bin because it's cut funny. Can go on there. I like that. It'd be better that way. Yeah. No. I think it's better that way. Right, so we've got that. And then I'm going to cut, I've got one here, a white frame. I do like this frame. And then we can pop on a butterfly, I think we should have. Something called Heat Emboss a Butterfly. Let's bring that out. I'm not a butterfly person, but I have used this butterfly quite a lot. What colour butterfly should we go? We've got lemon lolly. I think we ought to go for a pinky. We've got Flirty Flamingo or Calypso Coral, I believe, are our colours. Let me just check. It might be Timid Tiger rather than. Let me just grab. Terrible, I'm forgetting colours. But on the back of your paper, it tells you what colours. Flirty Flamingo, Petal Pink. Oh, that'd be nice actually. A nice subtle petal pink. Like that. Yes, let's find a piece perfect for our butterfly. Here we go. Stampin' mat. If you could see the mess that's all around me, it's ridiculous. Right, embossing buddy, white embossing powder. Let's find my Versamark, which is under here. It's gone really warm again. In fact, if I do it that way, it would be big enough for something else. We'll dump that and white embossing powder. Beautiful. That's covered. Out the way. Now, I don't know if I've mentioned this. I think I have. I've changed the way I emboss. Let me just unplug my phone. I always used to heat from on top. I've found heating from underneath gives me a better image. Especially with older embossing powder. There we go. Let's die cut that. Make sure it's dry. So now we've die cut. Now we've embossed it. We don't want to smudge it while it's still wet. Put that on there. And cut that. I have to say, I am so glad that I purchased this suite. I've really enjoyed playing with it this month. And I'm sure there will be much more to come. Right, like that. But I want something behind it. Hello. And I think I'm going to bring in some vellum. I'm kind of wondering, I like these little leaves that we've got. But this hexagon that cuts out a little heart as well, I'm wondering about that. Let's grab a little piece of vellum. Now, the vellum that we currently sell is 12 by 12. I have some from before, which obviously isn't 12 by 12. It's A4. But vellum is one of those things that most of us have got it in our craft stash. and just use what you have. Right, so we'll have a hexagon and some of these leaves. I need to do a few of the leaves. I did have some, I don't know where they've gone. I did some the other day for a project. And I thought I'd put them in little vellum heart that's come out of there. I thought I'd pop them in the packet, but it doesn't seem that I have. Must have got swept up with the rubbish. Right. I have 3 of those. You can see what that looks like. That. On that. Right. So don't know how well you can see. I'm kind of thinking it just helps that along a little bit, being on the vellum like that. Right, so again, I want a sentiment. So I'm going to use this noteworthy, and then it'll just be a little note card. I'm going to put that on there. Right, so let's move that. Want that at an angle, not too much. I'm going to do it just in black to keep it simple. Nice. And it's going to be an angle, something like that. That was the bottom of my card, like that. There we go. Our sentiments don't always have to be happy birthday, you know, congratulations. We can have just a noteworthy, and then it can be a little note card. Got glue on there and I don't know how. There we go. Right, so I'm going to pop some glue on here. Just around there. Make sure that's level. I think it's raining. Right, and then we'll pop our little frame. Yes, it's raining. Have our frame under there. Now my vellum, I'm just going to put glue up here because the glue will show, but I'm going to have my butterfly over it. I'm just doing this to layer. A couple of dimensionals on here. I can't believe how warm it's gone considering it started raining. I'm just adding layers like that. And then we can even add a little heart if we want to. I think that'd look nice on there. Oh, still got our vellum. Let me just glue that down a bit more. I left it up so that I could put my frame under. Quite liking the heart. No, I think it's better up there, isn't it? Balances it out a little bit. Oh. And then just going to add a couple of those little vellum leaves under there. On that. On that. Oh, God. Another one down. Oh. Don't know if I want the other one on, actually. No, don't want the other one. I'm just going to leave it with two. Right, and I want a white card base. I'm going to go white on this one. Oh. Score that in half. So that's 10.5 by a full length, and we'll score it at 14.8, 14.9, 14.85. Right. Put that on there. And then I'm done. Because it's just a little note card. I'm not going to put an inner in it or do anything on the inside, because it'll just be as, oh, of course, it's a bit shorter, isn't it? So I'll trim. There we go. Couple of array of dots here. I think we'll just have a little bit bright. Couple of 11. That's got glue on it still. Oops, I've knocked it off. Knocked it off, it's sticky. There we go. Excellent. Where's our other card? Oh, there we are. Our 2 cards for today. I'm chuffed with those. Right, so as I say, I shall be back this evening with scrapbook page, and that will be our last one using this suite. We'll be on to something else next week. I'm torn on what I'm using. So thanks very much for watching. See you all soon. Bye.